Hi. So it's Book Fridays. Happy Book Friday. We're gonna have a great day tomorrow. That's number one. But the real reason you are here is for me to answer questions that you didn't bother to ask, that you never asked for, that you never thought that you needed. Yes, exactly, 100%. And we are gonna get through this hopefully better than we got through the CII radio interview. I think, yeah. This is me practicing my interview skills, guys. So I have a little box here with all these lovely little questions. I don't know what's in here. Was I the one that wrote them down? Yes, I was. Do I remember what I wrote? No, I don't. So this is going to be a lovely experience. Yes. Let's go. So, okay, let's just pick this one. Okay, this was not a good first question. It is, are you single? Yes, I am. Do you see a ring on this finger? No, you do not. Anyway, let's move along very swiftly. Very swiftly. Have you ever listened to any audiobooks? I've listened to 2 audiobooks. The first one I listened to was The Secret History by Donna Tartt, but it's not like the full audiobook. My sister recommended it to me. Very good. The second one is High Rise, read by Tom Hiddleston. Excellent book. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. Would highly recommend though. So yeah, definitely do that. Next question. What is a big dream you have but you don't talk about? I would like to solve world hunger, or at least South African hunger. I am very into like vertical farms, agriculture, and yeah, trying to get that done. One of the things I'll hopefully be doing in the next 10 years. Very cool, right? Yeah, I'm cool like that. What's something important you've been thinking about recently? I was talking to my friend Erin about this. She's a teacher, and the way that we were taught apartheid in schools, and the fact that we're not really teaching it anymore, or like not taught enough. And yeah, kids these days apparently have very little concept, and it seems like it's not really something that's talked about with like a sense of reality, empathy, and yeah, it's more of an our generation kind of thing, whereas like kids in schools and stuff, they're not really, it seems like a dream to them or something that happened, but not something that's relevant, whereas like it's very relevant, obviously. But yeah, what is the best place to read? Preferably under a tree, on the grass, I think. Sunlight, afternoon sunlight, not overwhelming. Just before the thunderstorms in summer, yes, in Joburg, yes. Very nice. What has you in a chokehold right now? This summer I turned pretty. Can I tell you? I didn't watch season 1 and season 2, right? And now that my sisters are, staying with me, basically, me and my mom, they've got me watching it, and my flabbergasted. This last episode, this week, crazy stuff is happening in that show. Highly recommend. It's amazing. Team Conrad all the way, by the way. Beautiful stuff. What book is your guilty pleasure? I'm not guilty about it. It is only a pleasure, which is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Highly recommend. Especially if you have a sense of like nerd humor. Like if you like The Big Bang, you will probably like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Sorry, The Big Bang Theory, the show. Yes. Not because the humor is the same, but because you're probably just the same genre of person. Yeah. What is something you wish you had taken seriously? I don't know. Maybe like socializing. sounded like a joke, but I'm telling the truth. Socializing, because I have like a grand total of 3 friends, which is great. They're amazing friends, like ride or die, truly. But yeah, maybe I guess like, but also like it was COVID during university and stuff, so like in terms of making new friends, that was really difficult. But yeah, making friends, socializing. If money was not an issue and you could pick any job besides authoring, what would you pick? Firstly, authoring isn't my job. It's a side thing at the moment. One day it might be a job. What would I pick though? I would actually pick like nature photography or videography for like National Geographic. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Are you funny? I don't think so. At least not intentionally. I'm very funny in my head though, because obviously it's to me. So yes. What is your Hogwarts house? Every day, all day, for my whole life, and has been. Anybody has anything to say about that? Don't say anything. It's not cool. Name something that's very overrated. Donuts. Donuts are very overrated. I know people are gonna come at me for that. But yeah, donuts are overrated, in my opinion. Not my favorite pastry dessert kind of thing. No. Who is your favorite Springbok? So you see this question, hey? On the current team. In fact, I'm not going to pick one from the current team because I think that would be doing the rest of them a complete disservice, because every single one of them contributes and is amazing and fantastic and wonderful in each and every way, and I love them. But I knew that I know you guys were going to say, oh, she's going to say Cheslin Colby. Obviously, I'm not going to say Cheslin Colby. In fact, that's not even what I was thinking. In fact, I'm going to pick Rassie Erasmus. From the old team, though, Victor Matfield. If you could choose a superpower, what would it be? Every language. Stay with me. Hear me out. Every single language that's ever been spoken, written, read, anything. Up here. Like, I would literally be, like, I wouldn't even tell anybody. This, like, you would just see shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves. That is a dream. That is a dream. I hope that in heaven that that's something that I get. Like, if I get to choose things, I want every language, and then every book, every film, all of them, ever. And those that like weren't made, and like all of that. Yes, that's my dream. What makes your day better? Nachos. I'm very serious. What's the hardest lesson you've learned? Talking. Talking about feelings, that sort of thing. I don't know if that's a specific lesson. It's not a specific lesson. But it is the hardest thing I've learned. I've spent very, very long learning how to do that. Not like talking, I mean like talking emotionally and things like that. Sharing feelings, expressing that. Not like bottling and all of that. It's taken me very long. Very, very long. 10 years. Who is your favorite Game of Thrones character? Okay, I know what people expect. It's Sandor Clegane. You didn't expect that, did you? The Hound! Love him. I'm not gonna substantiate. What is something you are finding difficult at the moment? At Sensei Nigel. Push-ups. I feel like you need an explanation. Basically, I do karate. I'm preparing for tournaments and stuff. And at Sensei Nigel needs me to put more power into my karate performances and stuff. We call them katas. Yeah, so that's lovely. And push-ups, not great. Also mawashigiri, not good either. What do you want people to remember about you? I hope that anybody that I meet, interact with, anything like that, that they would remember that I'm kind. Like, I hope that I would give them a reason to remember that I'm kind before anything else. Like, you know, she has nice eyebrows, also good, also an option. How's the book going? You see, people have been asking me this question. The book is fine. The book is finished. The book's finished. Now it's all of this, you see? Because now my face is on the internet. And, like, I have to talk to people and sell it. That's lovely. I'm having a great time. If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be? Resourceful, cunning, ambitious. Shout out to the Slytherins. That was a Harry Potter reference for anybody who needed the explanation. Yeah, you can look it up online. It will come. Is your favorite color green? Yes, in fact it is. Book Fridays are my favorite day because, as you can see, green, yes. What football club do you support? This is a good question. It's Liverpool, because you will never walk alone. And I didn't actually start really watching soccer properly until 2019 when I was in Cape Town. And it was actually because of this, like, when I was at Res, there were quite a few people who, like, we were watching the games and stuff. And one of my best friends at the time, his name is Warona, he supported Liverpool very avidly. And yeah, sort of like, you know, picked up a club and was like, this is the one. I don't regret it. I think I landed there at the right time. Yeah. If you could give your younger self writing advice, what would you say? I'd probably say that, like, you don't have to make things overly complicated. Thankfully, I'm not like that kind of writer, I think. Or I haven't been historically, but I think I did try and, like, I worried a lot about, like, oh, is this gonna seem right? Is this gonna seem right? Is this gonna seem right? And then, like, not finishing stuff. So I would definitely tell myself, even if it's something small, even if it's something that, like, you don't think is great, as long as you start it, finish it. That's my writing advice to anybody, not even only my younger self, to anybody. Who is the best Disney prince? He's not a prince, but it's General Shane. I will not be substantiating my answer. If you know, you know. Do you believe in love? Do you believe in love at first sight? I haven't personally. I'm lying. I have experienced it. I have experienced it. It then went on to last for most of my teenage years and into my 20s. Tom Hiddleston. I fell in love with Tom Hiddleston the first time I saw him. But okay, sorry, jokes aside. Yes, I do believe in it. It hasn't happened to me. I don't know if it's happened in my direction. I have no idea. That's none of my business. But if it ever happens, I'll let you know. How do you feel about the Star Wars sequel trilogy? I personally love it. People can think what they will about that information. The prequels are trash. Well, they're not trash, but, like, I didn't enjoy them as much. And, you know, some purists are going to have a lot to say about that. That's not my business. Okay? Keep your opinions to yourself. What are you currently reading? I am currently reading The Conservationist by Nadim Gordimer. Something like that. South African book. Winner of the Pulitzer? No, not Pulitzer. Nobel Prize for Literature. Very, very good thus far. Enjoying it a lot. I'm also reading a zine about colonial object matters. Yeah, that one's really good too. Talking about, museums, like European colonizer museums that are like, then this whole redistribution, or like getting artifacts back to where they came from, and like, they, the politics. Yeah, very good though. Name an overrated author. Rupi Kaur. Sorry, that was disrespectfully fast. Rupi Kaur. Are you a communist? Yes. In a perfect world. In a perfect world, obviously, yes. What is your favorite writing snack? I don't think I have one yet. But an honorable mention is salt and vinegar crisps. Yes. Or pastries. Like almond croissants. But those are expensive, so like not all the time. Like, but as a treat. What is something you're better at now that you're older? It's not because I'm older, or it may be because I'm older. That may be a factor. But it's something that I work very hard on. Something that I'm better at now is being vulnerable. Yeah, if anybody knew me back in the day, that was not the case. You're welcome to get to know me again. I may be nicer now. Hopefully I am. I want to improve as a person. Why should people read your book? Why did I put this in here? Because I like it. The other people that have read it have liked it. Because you would be supporting a small business. Because you would be supporting a debut author. Because it's about love. Because it's about family. Because it has pretty pictures in it. And it's made nicely. And it's hand sewn. Yeah, those are all very good reasons to read my book. And because it's well written. Yes, that's why. Yes. How do you cope with stress? Tea? That may not be the right answer. If there is a right answer. Usually, I like to be alone for a while. I think, defragging, I think stress is caused by being a bit overwhelmed, or at least for me, by the time I get that stressed, it's because I'm overwhelmed with many different things. So I think like I need to spend some time alone, maybe watch a movie, have a cup of tea, like I said, definitely an essential part, and, just try and sort my thoughts out. I think that's the thing. Yeah, definitely. What are you working on next? This is in regards to writing, obviously. I am working on a full-length novel. I'm also working on a sequel to the short story that I've released now. It's not really a sequel in the traditional sense, but it will definitely be part of a collection kind of thing. So that's the one thing that I'm working on. And hopefully there will be a trip that I'm taking a little bit later this year that is going to allow me to take some very nice photographs that will be featured in that one. Because photography is a big part of this this style of writing and storytelling that I'm interested in. And then for the full-length novel, that's going to be very interesting. I am writing romance, I suppose, in a sense. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not a book talk romance. Let's just like get that out the way. So like anybody who's interested, if they only read book talk romances, probably best that they don't read my book. When it comes out eventually, but that's like at least a year away. So yeah, don't worry about that yet. But I'm working on a lot of things. If you could have a meal with any fictional character, who would it be? This is a very good question, and I know the answer. I also know that like there's going to be judgment here. I don't care. It's Jack Sparrow, right? Because Captain, sorry. Because I genuinely feel it would be one of the most entertaining meals I've ever had. I don't need to ask other characters like questions or anything, but yeah, Jack has a lot of stories that I haven't heard, and I would be blown away by that. It would just be like super fun, I think. Why do you talk like that? Why do you talk like that? Because I went to private school for one of the most private of private schools for foundation and intermediate phase of my schooling, and then I moved to government school. So yeah, I think there's still a lot of the St. Mary's in my accent, and that's what you hear. That's why I sound like this. What is the most surprising thing you learned during the writing process? Actually, that writing doesn't have to be a chore. That it can be fun and it can be enjoyable, and it doesn't have to be rushed or yeah, I think I just didn't have any expectations with this short story, which is why it's continuing to surprise me how fast everything has happened, what a big thing this is turning out to be, and I'm so grateful because like I didn't expect it at all. I didn't set out to do it. So yeah, I think like when you're not rushing yourself, when you're not putting too much pressure on yourself in terms of being a writer and writing, then amazing things can happen. At least for me. Perhaps pressure works for other people, but I don't think that's what my creativity responds to. So yeah. Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? I would rather be a werewolf. I have no interest in immortality, at least in this world, in this dunya. No, not interested. No, thanks. I'm here for a specific purpose, and that is to not be here or down below when the time comes. Do with that information what you will. But yeah, werewolf definitely. Also, they're very cool. Like, what do you mean? Werewolves are so cool. Anyway. I saw the last word and I already know the question. Do you have a celebrity crush? At the moment, yes. Am I going to tell you no? I'll tell you the previous one, so Tom Hiddleston, like I said. But before Tom Hiddleston, it was Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp actually... I was talking to my sister, Yamela, about this. And I was like, I think that if I actually had to see Johnny Depp in front of me, I would be struck speechless. Like, Thomas Stein can have, like, he's married, he has a kid. Not that Johnny Depp doesn't have kids, he does. But I think, like, just Johnny Depp was my first celebrity crush, like, ever. And I think it just, like, it never really went away. So anyway, yeah. Right off the bat, next question. When did you start wearing hijab? Last year. Ramadan. It was great. It is great. It's just hot. Are you hot in that? Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. Yes. This series of the last two questions plus this one is a wild up and down. It's a wild roller coaster of emotions, this. Do you read fan fiction? Yes. If so, what is your most controversial headcanon? Okay, it's not a headcanon, and well, it is a headcanon. Right. So basically, I really enjoy fanfiction. I feel like I have to substantiate first before I get into what it is. Okay, I really enjoy fanfiction because I think that the writers are incredibly committed to what they're doing. They are also incredibly talented most of the time. And if you can convince me about something that I didn't think about, for instance, like if two characters fall in love that don't fall in love in the original, like what it was written as, I believe in you as a creative person because that is some hard stuff to do. So yeah, and I have been convinced in the process of reading some of these fanfictions about multiple different things. One that I really enjoy though is it is a Harry Potter one. Yeah, I do read other fanfiction though. Why would I say that? I do read other fan. Okay, anyway, it's a Harry Potter one. Basically, Snape is a bit more outwardly insightful in the sort of headcanon, and it's that like he recognizes how bad the Dursleys' abuse of Harry is, and he becomes like more of a mentor, adoptive father or big brother kind of figure. I really, really enjoy those because I think that there's a lot of scope for those two characters. And also, it's very interesting when the writers of fan fiction do these sort of things but still keep to the original events of the books. Because then it's like, okay, there's like so much more intrigue here. Because like, obviously you have to keep it a secret. He has to keep it a secret that he's mentoring Harry. That's like proper spy work right there. Yeah. So that's my... This was mortifying. This was terrible. I hope you appreciate this. Future self. Other people watching this. Good lord. Okay. Do you believe in soulmates? Yes, I do. I don't necessarily believe that there's only one person for like people. Like if there's either a death or whatever. Like I don't believe that you only get one necessarily. You could have two, but yes, I do believe in soulmates fundamentally. No romantic. Oh well. What is the best movie ever made? I know what it is. I just need you to prepare yourself for the answer because there is no other answer in my opinion. And right now that's the only thing that matters. It is Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. It's a masterpiece. There is nothing wrong with the movie. There is nothing that could have been done better except for them to have included the deleted scenes. That's it. The only thing that would make that movie better is the deleted scenes. They are available on YouTube. Please go watch them because the lore you need to understand. Like, if you want a longer video about this question and my answer, I will make one. I'm so serious. Good lord, I'm a terrible nerd. Well, I'm a good nerd, very very good nerd. But yes, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. It is perfect in every single way, from the soundtrack to the lighting to the cinematography, the acting, all of it. All of it is perfect from beginning to end. There's nothing that can convince me otherwise. You see, I wanted to cause myself pain with these questions because which Formula One team do you support? Ferrari. We're just gonna move on before I cry actual tears. What is your ethnicity? Very interesting question. My dad's side of the family is classified Indian South African. Before they came from India, they were Persian. Cool. My mom is classified as Afrikaans or white Afrikaans. Yes, Afrikaans is her first mother language, mother tongue. So my mother's tongue is Afrikaans. Lol. Yeah. So, but they're not Dutch. Well, there is some Dutch Afrikaans, but she's actually French, or like through her dad's lineage, is French Huguenot Afrikaans. The surname is Malherbe. So basically they were Protestants in France, and when the French became Catholic or some other denomination of Christianity, they kicked all the Protestants out, and they fled, and they came, well, some of them fled and came here, and that's how we get like places like Franschhoek, and you know, surnames like De Villiers, Malherbe, what else? Yeah, so now you know. How is karate going? Very well. Too well. Too well. Highly recommend it to anybody who is interested, though. Absolutely, because amazing sport, amazing. It's contributing a lot to my life. You get very very fit very quickly if you have a good sensei. And yeah, super disciplined, super like precise. Precision is very important. So like it is a full body sport. It's also a very very good skill. Self-defense is an amazing skill. I cannot speak enough about the benefits of karate. I'm really enjoying it. I've been doing it now when did I start? Last year, November. Yeah, and but like I said, I have an amazing sensei. So yeah, if you find the right sensei for you, highly recommend. My style is Gojuru, which is like, it's troubling at times, because it's really really good traditionally, but like for tournaments and stuff, like all styles tournaments, then I haven't done an all styles tournament yet. I'm doing one in September. It's supposedly a little more difficult, because Gojuru, like, katas are not like as fancy and flashy as other ones. So yeah, I'll have to see how it goes, but I'm very excited and I'm enjoying it a lot. Yeah, it's karate going well. Thank you. What are your thoughts on the publishing industry in general? At the moment, they are really, really pushing like ways that they make a lot of money. And like they are pushing hyper consumerism, which is really, really, very irritating, because there are amazing books out there and fantastic new writers and talent and stories that haven't been told, that haven't been explored, but we don't really see them because at the moment what is really dominating the field is like the book talk books, obviously, which means that, so for instance, Ali Hazelwood is a romance writer, incredible romance writer. My sister Malika and I love her, right? But we were waiting for her newest book to come out. I can't even remember what it's called, but anyway, we were waiting for it to come out, and we read it, and it was really not good. Other people liked it. Other people whose opinions are not, in my opinion, really that well constructed. Anyway, yeah, because I feel like they're rushing the writers now. I feel like Ali Hazelwood is an incredible writer, and it's not like she suddenly doesn't know how to write, but the quality significantly went down. And I think it's because like they're pushing them, or specifically romance at the moment, they're pushing them to like finish these books at such a rapid rate that like, what are you, like, you're not even getting a full unique storyline out of it. It seemed like she just did all like, not even the greatest hits, really, just like a very mediocre hits in this book. So yeah, I think that's a problem. Another problem is outsourcing printing to China and stuff like that. I obviously don't, not obviously, I don't believe in that. I also don't believe in child labor, all of those sort of things, which happens in very big factories where you pay less for labor and for like printing costs and stuff like that. So I personally would not partake in that sort of thing. But basically what that means is that they are spending less to make the book and then charging way, way more. Because if you've walked into a bookstore recently, you will have seen that the prices have significantly gone up. And that's not only because people will say, oh no, it's because like, you know, people are selling less books, like less print books, because there's audiobooks and digital books available. Yes, but they are basically printing money with digital and audiobooks because you only have to make it once. Remember, there are no then like extra costs except maybe like keeping it on the cloud and like admin costs in terms of selling it on those platforms. But besides that, you don't have an actual cost of making a physical product. So it's very, very simple to then sell a digital or an audiobook because it doesn't exist tangibly. You don't have to put in money to make that. So you're actually making more money with that. Which is why it's then so frustrating that they make the print versions so expensive. Especially like the hyper consumerized TikTok books, you know, because some of them are genuinely really good books, very, very enjoyable reads, but you can't keep up with how many there are and how many they are being released. If each book is like 300 Rand to buy new, and there are sometimes 3 new ones in a month, that's 1,200 Rand. And your target market is, specifically for romance, young women. What young woman makes that amount of, like, I'm saying, like, you have other things to pay for, you have other things to do. I just think that it's a self-imploding mechanism that's that they've created for themselves, and sooner or later it's going to run out. Like, it really, really is. It's not sustainable. Not only environmentally, which of course, yes, that's also not sustainable, but as a business model, it's not sustainable. it will work in the short run, but in the long run, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's a basic version of my opinion. You're welcome to call me if you want to hear me yap about it more and in more depth and more detail. Then absolutely, anytime. Do you play music while you write? Actually, I don't, because I don't listen to music anymore. Sorry, Brighton. Yeah, I don't. So, but also, even when in the past when I was listening to music, no, I didn't, because it really messes with your rhythm somehow, or at least I feel that way, especially for dialogue and stuff. I find that it impacts the rhythm of the dialogue. So if it's very fast paced, the dialogue is going to be fast paced. If it's slow paced, dialogue is going to be slow paced, which doesn't always work for what scene is, being written. But yeah, I don't listen to music anymore, so no. This card just says AI. If you didn't know, because it's come to my attention that a lot of people don't know, AI is killing the planet. Because these data centers in which the AI is housed and which it thinks need so much water to cool the system that it is unfathomable. So every time you ask ChatGPT a question, it is drinking water in order to answer your question. So the more questions you ask it, the more water it drinks. Now, I don't know if you remember this from school, but we already have water problems. Not only in South Africa, but in the entire world. I remember being in grade 2 and grade 1 distinctly, and them saying that the next world war will be for water. I remember that being a thing that people said all the time. And now we are encouraging the use of artificial intelligence that is not helping us in any way. I understand to automate systems and that sort of thing. That makes sense to me, to use it in those ways. But to house these thinking machines, because that has worked in every single piece of literature and film, right? Like Star Trek, Marvel, I don't know where people think this is going, but nowhere good. So yeah, I have many more thoughts, but none that are going to be helpful to you here. But yeah, please limit your use of them, so that you're not using so much water and killing the planet literally with every single question you ask, with every email that you want to write, that you were taught to write, because I promise you know how to write an email. I promise you know how to write an email. You really do. You don't need it. You don't need it. This is the last question, by the way. When was your last pep talk? It was actually last night at karate. My sensei is a very amazing gentleman. His name is Nigel, and he is an incredibly supportive human being. And like I firstly don't think I would be doing as well at karate with a different teacher. But I also think that he has taught me a lot of stuff outside of karate as well. And I have been expressing my stress with regards to this book and other things as well, just in daily life recently. So he asked me, how's the book going? And I just said, oh no, I haven't done this. And he sort of looked at me and he, gave his very gentle and lovely advice. And then he said, Rome wasn't built in a day. And that is the truth. And so, yeah, thank you so much for listening to this amazing podcast. We're going to call it a podcast. I'm sure that there'll be different editions, so we can call it a podcast. But thank you so much for listening. Hope you have an amazing Friday, weekend, and whenever you're watching this. And please support the Springboks tomorrow. Very important. We need you to shop. We need you to lock in, because it's Book Friday today, for Book Saturday tomorrow. The boys need your support. Okay? We need to carry energy, so that by the time the next World Cup comes, we are locked in again. Guys, just imagine. Anyway, thank you so much. If you have any other questions, please send them to me, and I will continue making embarrassing videos of me over explaining myself. talking about absolutely ridiculous, nerdy things that you didn't ask for because you didn't ask for them. But I hope you enjoyed it.